All right, Remnant 2, first major updates. All right, let's see the major updates coming to
The
Remnant
first major
2.
update for Remnant 2 is here, and with it comes loads of quality of life improvements, balance tweaks to various archetypes, and a healthy dose of bug fixes, all aimed at making your time with the game that.
Bro, do you guys remember when I shot the flaming tornado onto the Night Dreamer boss and it just brought the tornado around? Dude, hopefully that shit's fixed. I'm pretty sure that has to be a bug, dude. No way. Stop this, though. No freaking way.
That much more enjoyable. My name is Kodiak, this is Legacy Gaming, and let's dive into all the changes.
Let's dive in, man.
As always when doing a video like this, I like to start by saying I absolutely will not be reading the website word for word. It's boring for me, even more boring for you, so why waste the time?
True.
Instead, what I'm going to do is focus on the big.
That's why I watch you, man, because then I don't gotta read it. I can just listen. So, hey, high five.
Changes and how they'll impact our experience in the game. And fair warning, there are quite a few, so strap in. First, let's talk about a number of quality of life changes aimed at making the journey from fledgling explorer to overpowered root slayer a bit more accessible. The real focus here was on a slightly more refined progression experience, which impacts things such as traits, scrap, and other resources. First and foremost, the team is raising the trait cap by 5.
Wait, hold up. Dude, we don't even have all these. I'm like up to like here. I don't even think I've seen bark skin before. Bro, there's so many that we haven't gotten yet. I guess we're only like halfway through the second campaign, so I guess that wait, there's even an invulnerability window increase. What the heck? We can survive longer? Sebastian.
From 60 to 65.
Okay.
They've said from the start this was going to be a moving target post-launch, as they keep an eye on the community and the overall experience players are having as they reach that cap. For players like yours truly who completely botched their trait build the first time around, you'll also be happy to know that the Orb of Undoing, sold by Wallace and used to reallocate your trait points, now has unlimited uses. This means unlimited respecking from here on out, and as a huge fan of that functionality,
I think this is fine. I don't see the reason why they would have capped it in the first place to only have like one or two, because then people like can't change their builds and like be like, oh, I got bored of melee build. Let me go try, you know, this healer with AoE increase or, you know, full damage or something. So I think this is a really good change. There was like no reason not to have like unlimited respec. I think that just would make people quit the game faster, because then they can't, you know, they'll just get bored doing the same thing over and over again.
all I can say is yay. Any additional tomes of knowledge found out while adventuring after hitting that cap will also now reward scrap and EXP, which was a bug that was on the team's radar since launch. So great to see they're addressing that quickly, as a lot of players are now starting to level up additional archetypes, and this helps slightly speed up that process. There were also a number of basic scrap changes that.
You're gonna play Baldur's Gate 3? Yes. But that's like a probably in the future kind of game. So we still have to finish Remnant 2. Then I'm probably gonna end up playing Remnant 2 with Anton at some point since he wanted to play it, and then he also wanted to play Baldur's Gate 3. So probably have to like figure out like when the schedule lines up, unless I can find another group that wants to do Baldur's Gate. Then I can do 2, but don't know of anybody else to like make a group for that.
I think will make a lot of players happy, including removing the scrap cost to turn a mysterious item into an engram, lowering the luminite crystal cost from 10 to 5 to turn a mysterious item into an engram, increasing the scrap gain from breakables, regular, and rare chests, and increasing the scrap gain from killing aberrations. All in all, good stuff. Changes that are direct responses to player feedback on both Reddit and Discord. So, as we've been saying from the start, we're working with a dev team that's passionate about their game and cares about the community.
Let's go. W dev
Things
team.
get more interesting when we talk about balance changes. And from top to bottom, there are a lot of adjustments that I think are going to make a pretty massive impact on the current landscape of the game. So in this patch, we see the following archetypes getting significant buffs to their perks or skills. The Explorer, Archon, Challenger, Handler, and Summoner. For the Explorer...
Hold up. Yo, Handler and Summoner getting buffed. Hey, let's go, man. Both of them? I was going to be happy with one. But you're telling me both? Okay. Let's freaking go, man. Let's freaking go.
Or their damage perk Scavenger is getting a 5-second increase to the buff duration, changing from 15 seconds to 20 seconds. Their skill, Gold Digger, is also having its duration increased by 5 seconds, changing from 15 seconds to 20 seconds.
For gold.
Additionally, the Gold Digger Healing Fountain is receiving a buff increasing from 1.5 healing per second to 2 healing per second. The Archon is also receiving a balance pass specifically to address a bug tied to Havoc form, which allowed the ability to do an absurd amount of damage.
This looks sick though. See, like if I ever, when I, finish the game, max out, get bored of like Handler Summoner, like this definitely looks like a fun build to do, because who doesn't want to be, fucking Darth Sidious going around lightning bolting everybody,
Up front. Havoc form Lightning Hands damage is being increased from 28 to 56. Havoc form Blink damage is increasing from 100 to 150, and the cooldown of Havoc form is being reduced from 120 to 90 seconds. While the Challenger is only receiving one small adjustment, it's got a significant impact. The archetype's damage perk, Close Quarters, will now guarantee at least a 10% increase to all damage the class deals, increasing as the Challenger gets closer to enemies, up to 35% noted in the tooltip. The Handler is also receiving a buff to two core aspects of their kit. The range of their damage perk, Pack Hunter, now extends up to 40 meters, up from 25, which should be a net damage increase given.
I mean, every single time I'd use this, I would just like recall the dog. And even if it was far away, like I never noticed never getting it when I'd use the dog, but I guess that probably helps other people, I guess, that are farther away. So I mean, I guess there's no downside to it being double the range. So it's just, everyone's always going to get it if they're on the opposite side. So that's huge.
Given the additional flexibility. On top of that, the base max health of the companion is being increased, which is really good for guard dog spec handlers. Finally, we have one small change to the summoner, an increase to the base max health of the archetype's hollow and flyer variants. Moving on to weapons, I
did feel like the flying dudes died super fast. The roly-polies, I feel like tanked pretty good. I never saw those dying, so I'm able to see how much they actually increased it, but I like it. I'm about it.
I've got some bad news, friends. Our trusty Enigma, the gun that everyone has pretty much been using since day one, is receiving a nerf. Honestly, this is absolutely needed, as it almost negates the need to use any other handgun or even consider one, so here it is. The AoE burst damage of Enigma's overload application is being reduced from 40 to 30. The subsequent tether damage of the gun's primary fire is being reduced from 75% to 65%. The magazine capacity of the weapon is being reduced from 30 to 25, and the total reserve capacity of Enigma is being increased from 120 to 125. This one hurts, guys, I get it, but the weapon is still far from toothless at this point.
I mean, yeah, it was so strong that I feel like it'd still be strong, but yeah, maybe like I'm okay with having other weapons come into the leaderboard and be more viable to use, because I would probably get bored using the same gun over and over again, since it was just like you needed to run that one to kill all the ads and everything. So yeah, I still think it's gonna be one of the best just because of the AoE that it can do rather than a single target burst damage. So I mean, yeah, we'll have to see, but I think it's a viable and okay nerf. So Mikey, Kelly did an over to upcoming balance changes blog. Oh shit, how long is that one?
We're going to have to wait and see how it all shakes out, if there are additional changes coming. Does the nerf really curve our dependence on the weapon? At this point, who knows? Only time will tell. Now, speaking of pain, the other OP weapon that everyone in the community seems to be using...
Okay, hey. I haven't crafted this one yet, so if this one's completely nerfed to shit, hey, good, I didn't waste my resources, because I was about to do that next time we logged on. I haven't made this one yet.
Nightfall is also receiving a nerf. This one is a bit easier to swallow, though. The weapon's fire rate in standard and Dreadwalker fire modes is being reduced. According to the developer's note, the weapon should now sit closer in line to other long gun options. A final note about the balance: multiplayer difficulty is being nerfed, which should be welcome news for most players that enjoy the game with a group. Incoming damage is being reduced from 25% per additional player to 15% per additional player.
Okay, so that's why we were getting one shot on a lot of like that final boss. Because dude, we're taking freaking 50% increase freaking damage. Holy. Okay.
While not as headline grabbing as a big archetype buff or a weapon nerf, there are a number of bug fixes that the team is addressing, many of which are progression blockers that players have been dealing with since the launch of the game. They fixed an issue that prevented players from completing the tutorial if a crash happened when interacting with Brabus or Ford. They also fixed the infinite loading screen issue present for some players when selecting skip tutorial on the character creation screen.
Okay.
They've also addressed an issue with the plasma cutter weapon preventing the final boss from transitioning into the second phase. They fixed the Talratha boss fight lockout if the game was exited during any cutscene dialogue.
Hey, we haven't seen this one yet.
And they addressed the Astropath boss fight
Hey,
failing
I
to
haven't seen
start
this
if
one
the
either.
game was
Skip it.
exited
Skip it.
during cutscenes. A number of other non-progression bugs are being addressed, and I think these have some of the farthest reaching implications across the community, as we often see players talking about them in the comments of our videos. First is that our good friend Mudtooth will now properly distribute all rewards after listening to his stories. Players who didn't receive the Iron Cylinder engram for the Gunslinger archetype will now find it available in his store. For those that completed the main story at least once, you should now also be able to pick up the Explorer armor from Whispers, the armor vendor in Ward 13.
Nice.
We have a great video breaking down the Explorer and all the things the archetype brings to the table, so go check that
I remember
out.
seeing all those and like all the other gears. I think I'm pretty good on that one.
You'll also need that armor to unlock the Archon archetype, whose armor will also now appear at Whisper Store.
Oh, wait, this looks sick. Wait, how do I get this one?
So long as you have it unlocked. We also have a video breaking down exactly how to do that, so be sure to go watch that as well. Finally, in terms of bug fixes, players should now receive the Revivalist trait after reviving another player 15 times. To be honest, I didn't even know this existed, but it makes sense considering it was from Remnant from the Ashes.
Bro, how have I not gotten this? I've revived people like 100 times. Unless it was bugged, and that's why they just, now you get it. Oh, should now be available. Okay, so it wasn't before. I was about to be like, bro, dude, I've res people way more than 15 times. We could do like 15 times in like 30 minutes with one of the bosses.
So it'll be nice to add another trade option to the overall pool. Finally, I wanted to point out 3 very important bug fixes that many would consider exploits at this point, which have now been addressed. First is an issue with Anastasia's inspiration causing infinite damage stacking on summoners' minions. This has been a popular way to cheese encounters in the game, which should no longer be a thing. The team has also fixed multiple scenarios where players would use interactives to transition through walls, such as the High Five exploit used in Morrow Parish to farm aberrations in Simulacrum. Finally, the Scrap Farm exploit that's been making the rounds is officially off the table, as players can no longer continuously spawn severed hands in the loathsome sewers and set up macros to cash in on an endless supply of rings.
I didn't even know those things existed, but I'm glad I didn't, because that would like ruin or like make the game not as fun. Because if I did all that and I had everything, then I wouldn't be able to like look forward to like grinding to get the gear. So I'm glad I didn't know about that, because I probably would have been tempted to do it. So I think that's good that they took all that stuff away.
There are a number of other bug fixes I encourage you to go read about, but I think the main thrust of the patch is this. Gunfire Games is paying attention to the community and making quick adjustments to the game. Considering it was released just over a week ago, I think it's safe to say the future of the game is in good hands. Friends, I hope you enjoyed this video and you're excited to dive back into Remnant 2. We still have a ton of content planned for you, so if you appreciate all the work that goes into creating these videos, do me a solid, hit that thumbs up, and consider subscribing.
Hit the sub.
You could also join us on Discord if you want to hang out with the team, talk about great games, and enter for your chance to win tons of free prizes. That link, as always, is below.
Nice.
My name is Cody Atkin from everyone here at Legacy Gaming. Thanks for watching, and play on.
Play on, boys. Play on. All right, nice. Yeah, that looks like some good Remnant 2 changes. We'll eventually have to plan out another Remnant 2 day to get farther in. But yeah, nice. Those are the updates for Remnant 2. That's the game that you're looking out to play, then it is definitely worth it. 10 out of 10 game. Very fun, very fun.